So yeah, you've got a Metrocab license number you can use to trace.
Yeah. If I have time in the shift, I'll try to run that.
Okay, so let's cut back to the memory lab. So Amor is in lab 3 with Lilith. Okay, so she asked you to sit at one end of the scanner, and she's at a terminal that, of course, has a video screen. So she can recall from backups or from her records specific memories, or she can use this machine to read yours.
Still having a breakdown from what you just applied.
Yes.
But I'm trying to still pretend to be... I'm trying to play it off as if I just want to know how the technology, because like Lee had this done by street, so I'm like, I want to be able to identify it and understand it, so if you reference the street, I can figure out what's happened. So I don't know, let's just go back to the oldest memory.
Well, I'd like you to just try to recall that memory. Don't concentrate too hard, just relax and try to recount that earliest memory. I will look at it here.
Okay. I'll start thinking about the nightmare thing that I have of just the many, faceless people. The person, if I remember right, just walking up and walking into the vat, or did someone push him? I can't. Which was it? Maybe both.
You see Lilith studying the memory itself, seeing, I see. Yes, I can see the utility of a implant such as this. Of course, I'm reminding you, you are a machine. As lovingly as we created you, you are a machine, no different from a weapon as you're used at the LAPD. Of course, infinitely more advanced, but a machine nonetheless. The purpose, and I will confess this too is one of mine, the purpose of a memory such as this is I designed this to control you as a machine in the most effective way possible. This sort of trauma that is included in this implant is part of my theory that says this is a necessary part of being able to render you incapable of harm, basically taking you offline, breaking you, if you'd like to put it that way, if you commit something that would violate one of the rules that we've set up for the Nexus 9. This trauma, of course, can be conditioned to be triggered at any time that the replicant even considers the possibility of disobeying. This is a unique method, of course, that I made for the Nexus 9 replicants to keep them as fully obedient as possible. It's simple, really.
She's doing the speech, but as soon as she's going into it, I'm going to actively think of pulling my gun and shooting her. I'm playing it out in my mind, but not actually doing the action.
So she sees that you've stopped focusing on this trauma. She wonders what we're thinking about now. So she just continues, morality has no role here. You wouldn't be a useful tool like that blaster in your holster if you disobeyed me, would you?
That would be true, yes. Let's jump forward some. I'm assuming I have more than just that one memory.
Oh, of course, yeah. Yes.
So I'll kind of speed through, and for lack of better terms, like other less traumatizing memories, what birthday or playing in a field or something like that, go through some happy stuff. And as she's kind of doing, I'm assuming she's still talking to me in control. And then I'm going to try to, as we're sitting here going through these things, I'm going to jump forward to the brother who got shot to that moment and see if that pops up or not. Of course, am I seeing what she's looking at, or is she?
She's only seeing it. She can play it back for you as it's being recalled. She could play it back for you, and of course also do the hard copy thing, but she's the only one looking. You're being scanned and just have to focus at the kind of sensor end of that. She, again, you see her kind of change in her reaction as she studies this very tense scene of your brother being killed and of you taking revenge on his killer. And then she says, yes, so you do believe that you are capable of killing a human, but of course that was another necessary control that needed to be implanted.
At this point, I'm not really talking to her anymore. I'm trying to, I can't see it, so I can't 100% bear in my mind. I'm still like, maybe she's not looking at the same thing. I'm going to try to jump forward to when I had to come in and tell my wife that he got shot, and then when I kind of formulated that memory in my head, I'm gonna say, stop there, give me an image of that.
If that's what you wish. So she sends that image to print out as a hard copy on the side of the scanner, and she says, I find it's very comforting for detectives and men such as yourself that put their lives on the line, and I mean men in the loosest sense, to be married, to feel that they're married, to feel that they have more purpose than just duty to their job. So the creation of a married feeling, a memory of a happy marriage, I think can be important. And of course, we can manipulate that to work as we need it to. And then she hands you, so then she hands you let's do a stress roll too. She hands you the hard copy of your very distressed wife's face as you recount what happened to her brother.
All right. What's a stress roll?
You're rolling against, it's just a stress factor 1, so you need to roll insight and at least get 1 success to counter that factor. And if you get at least 1 success, then you take no stress. But if you don't get any successes, then you take another point of stress.
I suppose I'll push this. It seems like I'm gonna regret all of this here in a second.
Right.
Oh.
1 success just at the last moment. All right. You're starting to kind of accept this very mixed reality that you've been living. You feeling, of course, very manipulated and, like just a tool of this memory designer of this corporation, and also of the LAPD, the reality of what is in your mind and what's kind of been motivating you all of these years, if in fact there have been a lot of them. It is starting to hit you pretty hard, but you're coming to terms with it better. It's not tearing you apart. You're starting to kind of rationalize and still be able to function with this knowledge.
I'm going to try to jump forward all the way until last night, because I don't know when I'm real and when I'm not. So I'm having like an ex machina moment where I'm like, am I even what I think I am? How long have I been here? I'm pushing myself forward to see if something comes up for literally yesterday.
Okay.
Also, maybe if it does, then maybe all this is bull and I can go on believing I have a wife.
She's staring basically at a blank screen, and she says, "I'm sorry. There doesn't seem to be anything to scan past last year. The starting last year was the beginning of your experienced memory."
And I'm just gonna sit there quietly for a few moments, because I've lost all my composure and everything. I'm just be like, whose number have I been calling?
I would probably take that up with your superiors at the LAPD. They have that information. I suppose we could find that through a scan, but I'm assuming it's just connecting to some sort of service or some sort of messaging system. I'm very sorry if this upsets you.
No, it's fine. Thank you. I think that's all I have for today.
Oh, very good.
Thank you. And I'll like just get up and start like trying to figure out how to get out of the room, even though it's just a door, but and stumbled my way out to my spinner.
Okay.
I got nothing useful, Matt. Nothing useful to you.
It's all right. You went on a little vision quest. That's okay.
Are we gonna meet at the Widow Petrov's at one?
Yeah, no. Unfortunately, I think I'm pissing.
Well, I'm going. I don't know if Amor is showing up.
Turn off my comm, and I'm heading back to go see Holden.
Okay, so you'll go back to LAPD then. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Perez is going to the Widow's place to atone. Amor is going back to LAPD.
I'll be stopping at whatever the equivalent of an ATM is before I go. And also just trying to scramble up like a little envelope or something.
Okay. So Amor's headed back to LAPD. Perez is in Sector 5 looking at looking for a slightly nicer building than some of the LAPD units that you've seen.
Okay.
So yeah, you've stopped at the ATM. So you have, and you seem to have found something to put the Chinyen in.
Basically, I'm going to pace around outside for a little while, assuming Amor is coming.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And give him, I don't know, 20 minutes or so, and then get pissed off and stamp out the cigarette I was smoking, straighten my shirt a little bit, use the dirty rainwater to slick back my hair that's usually just a mess, and go up to their door.
So a bit nicer than you've seen before some of the LA. So maybe they got an upgrade a few years back due to Andre's length of service. And a 40-something woman answers the door, says, "Yes, may I help you?"
Mrs. Petrov?
Yes.
I am Akimitsu Perez. I was the last man with your husband when he was killed.
Oh, and she just kind of is shocked and just kind of begins to sob because he didn't come home. She was kind of anticipating this, but was hoping that she was just going to be informed of an injury. So yeah, she's kind of collapsed and sobbing. Where?
Last night on a case, we were ambushed. I'm very sorry. And I will pull out my little porcelain dish, place the envelope in it. Because I'm kind of a street rat, I'm just trying to remember things I've seen like my mother or my grandmother do, and just sort of, give her a slight bow and offer it to her. And I was looking on the gear list, and it described like a luxury purchase as 2 to 3 chin yen.
Yes.
So, because Akimitsu is just absolutely distraught by this whole thing, he has withdrawn 3 full chin yen worth of money, chin yen points worth of money, and put it in the envelope.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so it takes her a moment to notice what you've done, and she puts both hands on the dish and bows to you, and does notice that it is a considerable amount. Yeah, just continues to sob. She doesn't have she doesn't really say anything. No, there's no thank you or anything.
I will just sort of muted tone tell her I'm going to take care of the people that are responsible, and you can call me anytime you need me, and I'll just walk away.
She doesn't have any other response. She's very broken by that.
And now I'm plotting what I gotta do to recoup my losses. And then I don't know what kind of where we're at shift wise, but my plan now is send another very rude message to Amor, and then go to the Metro cab office.
So we'll be in the afternoon. So let's move that, because it's a total location and a process and that kind of needed to be a penalty for you to lose a shift for making that making that trip. So yeah, so next shift. So shift 3, you can do the Metro cab.
Okay.
And let's cut back to so Amor arrives at the LAPD tower. Where are you headed?
I'm heading to Deputy Chief Holden. I'm assuming he's the one I normally report to.
Yes, of course, yeah. Although the Blade Runner unit is. Holden has the personnel files, has Lee's personnel file up on his screen on his desk when you come in. Amor, what can I do for you? Have you made any progress on our missing detective?
I'm gonna kind of stand there for a moment quietly, and I'm gonna pull out my badge and my gun and put them on his desk.
Oh, okay.
And say, I've made progress, but some other stuff has come up. When was my, I don't know what the right term is.
Inception date. All right. Well, let's not get carried away here. I knew this day may come. So obviously the memory lab, a little too useful. So I guess you were using LAPD time to do a little personal soul searching. I gotta apologize for what you had to go through. This has got to be a gut punch. I know that several of your kind, several of the Nexus 9 were installed as Blade Runners. You, I know from your sealed record, were one of the earliest. You came in not as a rookie like the rest, but with implanted years of experience. So you had the confidence of a veteran, and of course all of the implanted experience and knowledge. Of course, you've only been here since last year.
Right. I'm going to try to get like if you can, an actual date, and I'm going to try to, in my mind, compare that to when my wife left.
Interesting.
And see how much those line up.
That's a good point. He's trying to indulge you and kind of keep you in a better mental state. He calls up on the terminal on his desk. He calls up your record, uses his retinal scan to open the closed file, and says, "Here you go, kid." Shows you that, it was January 3rd, 2036 was the date, was your inception date. That seems to be the earliest that you can remember communicating with your wife. So it does line up.
I'm going to need all those recordings.
I see. Well, I can tell you that we didn't make backups of anything. Basically, you were just you were talking to an empty line when you.
No one was listening.
I can guarantee you it was purely used as a source of a control comfort device for you. I'm sorry that had to be done that way. I can't imagine or what it feels like right now.
Well, I'm just going to stand there in silence with him for a few minutes. I'll reach down and put my hand on my badge and on my gun, and then, still trying to convince myself that I have some semblance of free will, I'm going to, again, not act, but imagine taking the gun and shooting him.
Okay.
I'm trying to go through like these motions, like just like you probably can't even, like imagine or like think about doing it. So I'm trying to like see how far I can push myself. Will I have? I'm assuming I don't just collapse on the floor right now.
Let's do another. Actually, this is a pretty big. I mean, he's hit you with some pretty big stuff. So let's do a stress factor 2. That might be pretty rough.
I'll definitely fail that.
Yeah, you definitely have been informed that everything you've believed is not true.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
I guess I'm pushing.
All right.
Hey.
2, you got the 2. All right. You've amazingly been processing this much more deeply than you're aware of. You can also feel a little bit of power, because as you took your blaster back off the table, you saw Holden stiffen, and knowing his history of being shot by a replicant, he feels there's some difference in you, and he's worried that all of this Wallace implant and technology may not protect him, and so he's just he's waiting to see what happens. But he seems to be a little bit comforted by you picking them back up.
I'll holster it and put the badge back in my pocket, sit there for a second, and then be like, crap, I'm supposed to meet Perez with the widow right now. And I look down at my Kai, and it has his text message that he sent me there.
Are we good, kid?
Peachy.
I know this can't be easy. Come and see me anytime. I'll share with you as much as I can.
Oh, okay. And just turn around and start marching, and I'm trying to figure out where I'm going. I don't know yet. I'm in my car, trying to get somewhere.
Well, you're not broken. That's one good thing.
Yeah. And actually, I think as soon as I get to my car, I sit down, and is the Kai is that thing like my phone and everything?
It does, yeah, basically everything. It can do secure calls. We're doing text messages as well, so you do text or video calls or just voice call. It connects to the LAPD database, and I guess you can bring up Esper footage, I guess, that you've captured, but you can't actually access the Esper wall, so you don't have full access to surveillance, but you can review things.
What I really want to do is I just want to go through and, I don't know exactly how this works, but I'm basically going to delete the wife from my content.
Ooh, okay, wow.
And then,
and as you're doing that, you realize you have the dog tags in your pocket still, that are in your inside jacket pocket that you always have with you. This may mechanically be a thing, but you can change your signature item if it's no longer going to serve you. If there's something that
I think I'm gonna just take them out of my hand, and I know I'm in the parking lot basically, but I'm just gonna open the window and drop them outside.
All right.
And then start the spinner and drive off, but not in any particular direction.
Very cool. Well, let's count that as interacting with that item for the last time, so that'll take your 1 point of stress away.
Yeah,
because you're kind of, it's amazing. Yeah, you've overcome that amazingly.
That was good, Will. For a minute,
really
you had me thinking you were going to shoot him.
It depends on what he said. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Nice. So you're back at 3 resolve after that. And if you want to think of what would work as a signature item, if there's something else that you have in your possession or that you come across in this in this session that can replace that for the next time. So we're moving to the Perez is headed to Metro Cab. Are you gonna meet him there, or what are you gonna do, Amor, for this next shift?
Yeah, I'll text him back. Because I don't think I can talk to him yet. I don't have the confidence to do that.
Okay.
And I'll just text him back. I'm not going to type it in there, but Holden called me in to talk with me. I'm sorry, where are you now? Let's meet up.
I'm cussing a blue streak in my spinner as I send him the address to the Metro Cab.
Okay, cool. So you guys will meet there?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, I'll make that for the next shift. Okay, great. So you guys are right outside then. So yeah, you did a lookup. You can just do that through your Kaya. You can do a lookup for the Metro Cab that would have handled the one that you have the license number for. So the dispatch.
Awesome.
Yeah, so you guys show up at the main dispatch office, which is a dingy old building in Sector 5. So there's dozens of people in this rundown, kind of dirty office space. A lot of them are in constant kind of radio communication with all the cabs that are throughout LA. When you enter, you're greeted kind of at this main reception desk by Irmgard, one of the main dispatchers. All she does is look up at you, sees a couple of detectives coming in and says, great. Doesn't acknowledge you beyond that.
Perez is like so cheesed off right now, like for so many different reasons. Not least of which is the replicant standing behind him. That he like channels his best gaff, like because he met Gaff once.
Right.
There's a phrase he says in the movie. I think it's like "toka," which I think means "let's go" or "get out of here" or something like that. I'm basically gonna just yell it at everyone in the room except for Ermgard to tell them all to go outside.
Yeah, and of course, definitely everyone working at this dispatch understands the city speak, so they know right away. So everyone, and literally, you've got people that are just left hanging on radio calls. Everyone just kind of shuffles out of there. Once you roll manipulation for the effect on Ermgard.
I'll walk over and so is this like the dispatch, like there's, oh, never mind, you won't need it. I was going to say if there's like a equivalent of a tire iron or something like that I can kind of pick up and, physically, menacingly kind of fiddle with. If
you want to give your manipulation as aid, if you want to give that die to...
It's another D10, Matt.
Oh, do I add a third D10?
Yeah, you can. You can add a third. Yeah. Oh, you got lots of successes.
That seems about right for me right now. We're good.
That's cool.
Officers, I'm sorry I was dismissive of you. Let me, what can I do for you on this lovely day?
All right, going back into the full city speak dialect, I'm just going to read out the license number.
Oh, okay.
Correlated with the date and time that she used the Metro cab, and tell her I need all the tracking information on this vehicle at that date and time.
That does confirm that Doc Badger was telling the truth. This dates back 2 weeks ago that she took that cab to have that hard copy made from her scan. You have an image of the passenger, so the cabs of course would have a camera, so she can bring that up for you. She's willing to do. You got a couple of successes, so she's willing to do a lot. So she brings up a picture of Lee. Yeah, it was definitely Lee that was in that cab 2 weeks ago.
Alone?
Yeah, alone. Totally alone in the cab going to Doc Badger's. And from the route, it looks like she took it directly from her apartment. So it went from her apartment to Sector 5 to Doc Badger's pawn shop.
Did she then take it again somewhere else?
After that, it looks like she would have then had it drop her off at Anemoid Row. Her next stop was Anemoid Row after that. And the driver's name was Earl, if you want to... I can bring him up on the radio if you want to have a quick talk with Earl and see what he knows. But it's a couple weeks ago, so I'm not sure how helpful he's going to be.
Is this like a electronic transaction? Would they have like any identifying information about how she paid? Or?
She paid with like physical Chinyen, and so basically the only ID that they have of her is the photo, is the image of her inside the cab, and then the outside, the Esper cam that you have outside.
Okay, yeah, I'd say I need her to call up Earl then.
Okay, guy says, Earl, I got some LAPD to talk to you. Are you in the middle of anything? And no, just waiting in the line, Ermgard. What can I do for you, gentlemen?
Is she able to send like a picture to him?
Oh, sure. Yeah, she can. Yeah, he's got a screen in his cab. Yeah.
So I'll send a picture of Lee.
Okay.
And then tell him about the day and time and the fair where she went to Doc Badger's, where he picked her up. Ask him if he remembers the fair.
Yeah. I'm remembering a little bit. This was a few weeks ago. So I remember that face, young woman. It being part of my personal preservation motivation. I noticed she had a gun right away, and was clearly upset when she got in the car. I didn't. There was no small talk. I took her to this little alleyway, little lousy little shop. Waited for her, and then we headed, dropped her off finally at Anemoid Row, and she didn't ask me to wait, and she just disappeared into the crowd.
No one was waiting for her there?
I didn't see her talk to anybody but that guy, the guy in the pawn shop she was interacting with, and after that, nobody.
When you picked her up, was there anyone standing on the street with her?
Not that I remember. I don't think so. It was just a young lady standing on the curb outside one of those lousy apartments in Sector 5.
All right, Earl. You have a good day.
Yeah, you too, officer.
So I'm going to look over at Amor, waiting for him to tell me what he thinks.
I think Amor's just kind of tapping the crowbar or whatever it is in his hand and kind of zoning out right now. He's thinking a lot internally, so then he notices you looking at him and kind of gives a shrug, like, I have nothing on this. Probably pissing you off even more.
So do we go talk to Butterfly Man?
Yes.
She went there. She knows him.
He knows her.
He knows her. They both were involved with the safe house. Why don't we go there, and on the way you fill me in on everything you learned at the Memory Lab.
Excellent.
Or from Chief.
So you guys are gonna exit the metro cab, and you both of your spinners are there, right? You have individual spinners.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had to meet up.
I mean, is this a bad part of? Yeah, it is. This is the cab.
Yeah, the cab area is pretty cruddy.
So if we wanted to leave one vehicle here and drive together, but I guess we can go in separate cars and just talk over the radios. No, it makes sense that we could ride together. I think. Let's, because if we're gonna talk. So yeah, I'll lock mine down and hop in your car.
Okay.
I'll knock all the
Okay.
Chinese food containers out or whatever that needs.
All right. So right before, so you open the doors to Perez's spinner, and before you get in, blocking your path, setting down right in front of you is this sleek black, unmarked spinner, very new and very expensive. Drops down right in front of you, and three gunmen jump out. And your Kaya's crackle with the first the Wallace logo, and then just a voice that you recognize as Cal that says, "Gentlemen, repercussions." And the gunmen open fire.
I wasn't planning to use this grenade so fast.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. So they're locked and loaded, and they're about to fire. So they, you know what's coming. So we can roll initiative and find out like the order. I think that's probably the best thing to do. So yeah, let's roll initiative, and I'll just roll for them as a group, so they'll kind of just roll in.
I haven't done this yet.
So just a D10, and then you guys will get priority over them if there's any ties.
Oh no,
we are dead.
Oh no, you're okay. Oh. Okay, so Perez goes first, then the goons, and then Amor. And these guys are all in black on black suits with assault rifles. Very modern tech, and they've got visors on, so you can't get a perfect you can't get a perfect view of their faces. But Amor would recognize that the way they exited the spinner and the precision of their movements, that they're Nexus 9 combat models.
Would I be able to make like a roll as a Blade Runner to get that same?
Oh, sure. Yeah, if you want to do connections, I guess would be the best.
Did I get it? Oh no. I would like to push that because of reasons. Did I get it? Oh no. It's all falling apart.
This could be anyone, as far as you're concerned. I mean, you did get a little hint. You did get a little hint on your Kaya, but you're not exactly sure, if these are humans or replicants or what you've got coming down on you. Hired guns or not.
We were at at least a little bit of distance when they showed up.
Yeah. You've got a car, and you've got car doors between you, a car and car door, so you can jump into the spinner that you had the doors open, or you can run behind it. Whatever you want to do. So what's?
So ideally I want to sort of duck down behind the hood and throw the sonic grenade.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Why don't you do that for the first? To take the first action. That you just roll your firearms for thrown weapons.
All right. LAPD training.
Yes.
Here we go.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll the firearms.
Right. I got 2 successes. All right.
Nice. Okay. So sonic grenade can be thrown. The explosion causes crushing damage, C. So roll for the blast. Roll a power blast C.
D8.
Yeah.
D8.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. So you've got two successes on that, and you did crit damage then. Everyone's going to take 2. They're not armored at this point. This was just a hit and run squad, so they're not armored, so they're going to have to take 2 damage, but that's going to be crits as well. So why don't you roll a d8 on the crit table for crushing?
Ooh, all right. Oh, I got 8.
Woo!
It's not lethal damage, but it is enough to basically blow the guns out of their hands. Basically, 2 damage plus the extra point. Yeah, so you can spend that. So 3. That's still going to keep them standing, but they're definitely wounded, and the Spinner itself also would take that 3 damage. Let's put the spinner in there as well.
Into your shiny car.
The front of the spinner is really damaged by the blast, and basically the 3 gunmen, leaving their weapons behind because there's no way to retrieve them, they just drop their rifles and pile back into the spinner, which slowly hesitates and kind of drags itself a little bit before it gets airborne.
I'm gonna call us in immediately.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll both call in at the same time. So we're both calling dispatch and like,
I'm also gonna look at my Kaya. I'm afraid to ask, but was her message somehow like not retained?
There's no evidence of the threat, of the intimidation that she.
And we're this was Cal that we.
Yeah, that was definitely Cal's voice. You recognized her voice from the previous from the meeting and the previous calls. So Cal was. It seems like Wallace has lost a little bit of confidence in what you guys are doing, and maybe trying to clean up some loose ends. In this debacle. Oh yeah, and probably the windows too. It took some damage on the front of that crappy office.
I'm gonna look at Amor and because I suspect they were replicants just because they came from Wallace.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna look at Amor and like, well, replicants?
Definitely. Wallace is.
Are there any humans left in this town?
There's a few, but it seems like they're all the ones in charge.
Yeah, right. Just people running clubs and stuff.
So she's tracking us.
Yeah, she knew where you were. So there's something in the technology that they gave you that lets them know. Could have also just followed you. So you wouldn't really have a good answer for that right now.
Are we going to her to have words? This is a very different like attitude than you probably would normally expect from me.
Yeah, I appreciate your sentiment, but if we go there, she's just gonna make us disappear.
And the chances of you getting in without an invitation are pretty slim.
Yeah, it's a big building. I don't have that many grenades. Okay, here's what I think we should do. I think we should go get your car.
Okay.
Just trade. We'll go in your car and then go talk to the Aurelian.
Oh, okay.
Or go shoot Skylar between the eyes, which should be just fine.
Well, that was the evening shift, so the time you spent at the metro. So you got a decision to make if you want to take some stress or if you want to keep pushing on.
Okay, do we have? If we assume we rested, do we have one more day?
One more day.
Oh no!
The day that you were told by the Aurelian was tomorrow night. So one more day, and then the scheduled pickup by the moon bus in the Kipple is going to happen.
And the penalty for if we skip our rest, what are the
So penalties? You just take a stress for that shift, and then every shift after that until you rest. So you would be able to.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to go the whole. You probably would break before you got very far into the next day.
Yeah, is it tests or are we just taking a point?
You automatically lose a point of stress, but there are things like interacting with your key person in your life, your signature object.
All the stuff I threw away.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, and you already did that this session, so you wouldn't be able to do that again. But you would be able to. Yeah, and I guess you need a new significant other, right? And a new key person as well. Mm-hmm. And that could be Holden. I mean, because he did kind of try to do his best to reassure you. So reaching out to Holden could be with questions, or just could be a way to do that same sort of interaction.
Oh, maybe your object should be your badge because you're like just 100% copy.
Yeah, you were born to the LAPD.
I'll keep pondering on that. I like right now of not having anything and not knowing what to do with that.
I don't want to lose a shift, but I also don't want to get stressed every shift.
So what do you guys want to?
We just got jumped. Should we go back, like not on comms, not with anything electrical, and tell Holden, and maybe spend a shift in the police station itself so we don't get jumped again resting?
Oh, can we do that? Can we can we bunk there?
Let me take a look real quick at the downtime.
Just get a cell and sleep in it?
Yeah, right.
Sleep in a cell.
Yeah, that's an interesting.
Sleep with the Nexus 8, make him nervous.
Yeah, because you're supposed to be able to have. It might be. It might be that you can't. Well, I guess you don't need to reduce stress, so you won't recover any health or stress if you stay at the LAPD. But it will count as downtime if you want to hold up in your offices or stay somewhere secure.
So it won't heal us, but it'll count for needing.
Yeah, it'll count if you guys don't do anything, like if you're not like actively researching or anything, if you just want to prevent anything else from going on.
Would we be able to have like a small off-the-record conversation with Holden?
I mean, you guys can hang out together, and it's just as far as we'll have you roll on the downtime just in case anything that is applicable happens. But if it doesn't, because you're in LAPD Tower, anything that would involve you not being there or you being vulnerable, we won't count. We'll kind of just ignore that.
I think we'll do that then. We'll go make sure we have both spinners and then go back.
Okay, your spinner probably took a little bit of damage from the grenade. Nothing like the other one did.
That just gives it character.
But not enough to cause any loss of promotion points or anything.
So on the ride back, Will, are you gonna fill me in on the memory place?
Yeah, unfortunately, well, yeah, I'll say, yeah, I went there. They said that the data they have isn't useful really unless they can actually pull it up live.
So that was my other thing is, how much does she know about the memory lab? Could she be aware of the real girl?
Well, she didn't go there for a reprocessing, right?
No.
She went to Wallace proper.
Wallace.
I don't think she would know about the girl.
No.
But maybe.
I don't think so either, but I'm just like, I'm also sort of wondering if we could somehow use the girl as bait.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was thinking the same thing, but I doubt we're going to be able to get her out anywhere. But we may be able to get a live feed of her somehow that we can kind of know. And can we get her daughter shown on like news somehow?
A missing person bulletin.
You've got that image. The Stelline scan hard copy looks like her. So yeah, you can put that image out. And that would definitely, because that Lilith doesn't want her daughter, with a lot of media exposure. So that would definitely upset her.
Well, and maybe. Is it missing person, or is it like, should we try to release something saying that there is this child and here's a picture of her? She's at this location and we're trying to find out more. I don't know how exactly you do that, but basically use
Right, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
The girl fakely as bait. You can even half expose some of the stuff, but be like, she was being smuggled in or something like that, and there's this girl. If anybody has any information, call the 1-800 number on your screen, equivalent of 800 numbers are.
Okay. So let's go back, have a little chat with Holden, and then maybe do that.
Yeah, since you guys are... Yeah, so for it to count as downtime, though, you'd probably have to do the APB in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah, just so we can count this as downtime. And you can interact, since you're at the LAPD, you can interact with Holden.
Yeah, I'm going to be really serious with him, like, that I'm convinced that... I know it was Wallace. They're trying to kill us. They're overreacting to this kill magazine garbage, and I think they might be tracking us.
Okay, so are you like in Holden's office now? Like, if you've gotten back and are talking? Okay,
yeah.
Okay, and sorry, I just looked up if you want to do an APB, it's actually, you can even do it remotely, but very easily from LAPD Tower. It's instant turnaround, and it's not an action because it doesn't cost promotion points or anything. So you guys can definitely do that before the downtime.
We just want to figure out where we want to say that she's at.
Yes.
We'd like to draw Lee out.
No, that's a good point.
I mean, the most practical thing to me would be like, she's injured and in a hospital. That's like the cliche way to... We put a mannequin in the hospital bed, and when Lee shows up, we...
Wow, this is getting elaborate.
I'm spinning here, I think, it may be a little on the nose, but if she's as shattered as she is, probably just saying, this girl's been found. If you have any information, come to the police station.
You think she'd come to the police station? Or should we just do it like a phone number kind of thing? I don't know if this is within the parameters of LAPD, but basically we want to do the electronic equivalent of kid's face on a milk carton.
Like an Amber Alert?
Yeah. With a number to call if you have information or are a parent.
Yeah, no, that works. So yeah, that'll go out, and she is Lee's an officer, so she has access to she could be monitoring as well, so she'll see that right away. If you put that out, that's going to go.
Awesome.
It's going to go right. So you want to do that? You want to do that tonight? Before the downtime? Okay. There's no skill required. You don't need to spend any promotion points. It's a very standard thing they'll do for you.
This is kind of a lying version of it, though. So
right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. So it's not true. So yeah. Why don't you do a connections Perez. Yeah, good point. It is dishonest. If you were being truthful, it would be fine. But yeah, use connections and your influence
All right. This is what I was born for.
to get them to lie.
What I get? I got one.
That does it. Yeah, you got a success. Yeah. So that does it. So the information goes out. And are you going to name the girl or just say this girl?
I think just the girl, because we don't know what name she's...
Right. Okay, good. Yeah, that's what I wanted to double check.
Yeah.
Okay. So that goes out and we're headed to downtime. So why don't you guys both roll the D8 and we'll see if anything makes sense with this downtime.
20 more guys show up and shoot you.
Yeah, more black spinners. So your phone rings and you see your mother.
Okay, I'll take the call.
What's happening? The things that I'm hearing are outrageous. What have you gotten yourself into, my little Aki?
Well, I've almost died 3 times. Thanks for asking.
How?
Nothing. We're just on a really tough case. Had to shake a few trees, see what fell out.
Bob said you came into his shop. I haven't heard from that fella in a while. Seems we've reconnected after all these years.
Yeah. Great. Hey, Mom, do you have a burner communicator I could use?
Of course, I can. I may have something that would fit that bill. How should I get it to you?
If you could send a runner over here to the office, that would be great.
All right, I can do that. Yeah, just to the LAPD tower. All right, I'll see if I can make that happen before the morning.
Hey, 3,000 chin yen for Okaden, too much or?
That's a good price. You might be able to talk them down a little bit.
Okay.
Well, I'm just worried. I'm just worried about you sticking your little nose into places where it shouldn't be. Be careful out there. I know I'm hearing some word on the street. You got the replicants pretty riled up. So look out for yourself.
Oh, hey, replicants.
Oh yeah.
What do you know about safe houses?
Well, I know the resistance has them all over the place. They don't like when they get found out because they're pretty vital to the off-world process, the underground railroad of replicants, you might say, that gets people to the off-world colonies where they can have a better chance at not just being machinery down here on Earth.
All right, I'm gonna start typing on my little device. All right, Mom, send you an address. It's a safe house. Any chance you know any of the operators there?
I don't know anybody directly connected with the resistance. It's mostly only when we're affected by it, when our trade is affected by it, or we do a little bit of business. I don't know. I'll take a look, see what I can find.
I'd appreciate that. Oh, Mom, this call's being recorded. Just kidding.
Oh, my little Aki, you sleep well. Oyasumi. She hangs up.
I give Amor a really awkward smile. Mom's right.
I just kind of give you a deadpan stare.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I owed you that barb.
Yeah, that'll count as the activity for both of you guys.
Me listening in on his family conversation.
You got your own stuff going on, so there's no need in having to make any calls. Okay, so it's the morning shift.
No one killed us. Yay.
Yes, that was a good, safe move. Yeah, the LAPD tower. Although, I don't know how far you want to push that because Wallace may even be able to get at you there if they they really wanted to.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull a slightly less dirty collared shirt out of a desk drawer, put it on. What are you thinking? Aurelian?
Yeah.
I assume we haven't heard anything from our little missing persons ruse, right?
Nothing's come up yet for that.
Unless we haven't put very much pressure on Styles.
Oh, yeah.
He's here in the building.
Yeah, that's right. Styles is still in lockup, too.
We're burning daylight. I hate to say this, but I think we need to split up again.
Well, all right. You're the senior. Who's going where?
So let's rewind a little bit. I want to ask you a question that I should have asked you. You've got assault weapons. You had the 3 assault rifles laying on the ground before you guys left the metro cab. Did you want to upgrade anything or pick anything up?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Akimitsu never lets stuff like that. They're in my trunk for sure.
That's good. I wanted to double check. That was a great roll.
Yeah.
And that critical disarmed, literally disarmed.
Yeah, I leave their fingers there on the ground.
The only problem I have with us separating is that how many times has someone tried to kill you in the last 48 hours?
Did I get my burner?
Your burner communicator does arrive, yeah.
So I'm gonna dial that in so that Amor can call me on it. Yeah, I'm gonna just have I'm gonna have one of the blue boys drop me off. I'm not gonna take my spinner.
Before you go, tactical gear that we should...
There is body armor. I saw it.
Yeah, you can requisition body armor. There's a lot of stuff.
So are you heading out then and I'm staying here?
Well, I mean, what do you think? I just felt instinctively like the 8's gonna talk to you more likely than me, but...
Okay.
And I might snap and shoot him in the head, so... It just seemed like the way to go.
No, that's fine. But before you go, do you want to suit up or requisition another one of those amazing grenades?
Honestly, I might do that.
Yeah, if you got promotion points.
I'm not going to do the body armor. I'm kind of metagaming here, but I saw that it affects my agility type stuffs, and I don't want to.
Yes.
I don't want to mess with that. So
Okay.
I'll put in a requisition for some type of tactical body armor stuff.
Okay.
I'm not going to put it on when I'm walking around the police station, but
Right.
I want to have that stuff ready for when he calls me in 20 minutes.
Right. Yeah.
Because you can't walk 10 feet without getting a fire.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and try to get another one of the sonic grenades because I am thoroughly impressed with how that worked.
Yeah, that went well. Yeah, good idea. So to get it through legitimate sources, it's gonna cost you a bit more. So a sonic grenade is gonna be two promotion points.
Oof.
It's going to be pretty expensive to get through requisition.
Can I sweet talk Velma at the supply desk?
You can even, that's not a completely, they know you and you can do one promotion, one chinyen if you wanted to. You can.
I've already spent too much chinyen.
You can break that cost up however you want.
I'm going to take 2 of the 3 assault rifles I have in my trunk and just wander down there and say, hey, need to get these tagged. Oh, is that a sonic grenade? Could I get one of those?
Right. So you're going to trade in the rifles?
Yeah.
Two of the 3?
2 of the 3, yeah.
So Velma, Velma in requisition is like impressed. It's like, I haven't even seen those before. Those are straight from the factory. So those are the newest Enders. How did you get your hands on these?
Well, some not nice men tried to use them on me, but I stopped them with a sonic grenade.
Right. Well, if you're leaving those with me, I probably wouldn't notice if one of those grenades went missing.
Woohoo!
Good job. Yeah, that'll get you a grenade.
And then I'm going to wander the halls trying to find a uniform cop I'm on good terms with.
Well, a lot of the uniform cops have heard what happens when they spend too much time with them.
I know. Hopefully one I bought some ramen for or something. I don't know.
Why don't you roll connections? It'll give you an idea of who is the most okay or kind of understands what happened.
This is my wheelhouse. All right, let's see. How do we do? Yeah, I got one.
There's a guy you've done some favors for. He's done some favors for you that would definitely give you a lift, and wouldn't even mention it around the LAPD. So he just tells you, yeah, I know what you need. Meet me on the roof. He'll
all right,
give you a lift.
So I'm gonna show up there with that 3rd assault rifle.
All right. So you got a grenade and an ender.
I'm throwing the assault rifle in the trunk because it's not really my walking around style.
Sure.
Stay close to your Kaya, Amor.
Will do. I realize that I have no promotion points really, so no requisition stuff. So I think I go down there and ask, and then they're like, fill out this form, and after 20 minutes I realize I'm not getting what I want.
If you want to roll manipulation, you can pay for it in chinyen if you want. You've got 5 chinyen points.
Sure, I'll give that a shot.
Velma just collected some pretty primo rifles. She's in a good mood.
I got a success.
That'll do it. So you can pay chinyen points instead of promotion. Velma is letting stuff go. So heavy duty street gear. So you roll 2 B rolls, and any successes eliminate damage. The armor takes it instead of you. So yeah, that'll be 2 chinyen if you want that.
Sure, I'll. So that means I'm actually buying it, right? Like
it's gonna go missing. Yeah, basically from the. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Velma will. You successfully manipulated, and she'll say, "Yeah, I don't need to see that back. It's not the cleanest piece that we have, but it'll do the job. It's all yours." And she's counting the chinyen.
You've come a long way, Amor. I'm proud of you.
And so is this like a bulletproof vest that goes under street clothes, or is it some apparent?
Heavy duty street gear. It's bulky enough. You could probably put your jacket over it. It probably would be.
It's apparent that I'm wearing armor.
It's apparent you're wearing it, or you get disadvantage to mobility, stealth, observation, connections, and manipulation wearing it. So only put it on when you don't need to kind of do any interaction.
Everything that breaks my character.
What do you want to do for the first morning? So Perez
is going to see the Aurelian and Animoid Row. And I believe you're talking to Styles.
Slap around Styles.
Yeah.
But you do get advantage because he's in custody. You do get advantage on manipulation.
Ooh.
He'll talk a lot easizer.
Amor has to go first this time.
All right.
So you want to go down to the holding. Yeah, you request to meet with the prisoner that was involved at the safe house attack. Yeah, Styles is in a cell, just quietly, sitting almost just perfectly still in the holding section of the LAPD.
He's been on ice for like 2 days now.
He's been sitting for a while. He notices you approach. This is the basement of the LAPD headquarters. It contains endless rows of secured holding cells. Yeah, Styles has just been on ice since the day before. Yes, the second day, beginning of the second day in detention. When you approach, he notices you. He doesn't say anything, but he looks directly at you, very expressionless.
Is it just me down there?
The other cells are sealed, so no one can listen to how you interact. And he's behind glass, or he's behind a barrier. You can communicate, but he's not going to be able to get at you physically.
I'll start with what's your earliest memory, Styles?
Oh, detective. I've been through. I've run a few scans on myself. I didn't like anything I found. I'm sure some of my memories are much more pleasant than what they would install in a Nexus 9 Blade Runner. I don't really want to go there.
Mine are all rainbow and unicorns.
Oh, not unicorns.
Like in that movie Legend. Remember that movie Legend? Do you know what Lee's earliest memories were?
We talked a lot. I've known her. I've knew Lee for a long time. She told me about some pretty horrible things that have tortured her and literally made her insane. I don't think even Wallace, even the big brains at Wallace weren't able to bring her back from the edge that she's fallen over.
She's dangerous. And do you have any idea why she shot Xander?
Well, if I'm just talking to you, if I'm just talking to the Nexus 9 and not the detective, I may be able to enlighten you. Let's do a manipulation roll on that, just on that question, and you get advantage. Yeah, so roll your lower die twice.
They're all the same.
Oh, okay, then just roll 3.
Oh,
Double crit. All right.
Oh, mystery solved.
It's always just me.
Because you let him go, he feels that you have some empathy for his situation and probably what Lee is going through, because although Eights didn't experience the kind of trauma because their implants weren't so traumatic, he's trying to help. He's trying to do everything he can. I'll tell you everything I know and my role in what happened. I met Lee. She was introduced to me by the Aurelian in Animoid Row. She was a regular customer of his, and she was having some real difficulty with one of her implants. One of the memories that she had was tearing her up. She told me that
her daughter?
Exactly. She was remembering an event that happened off-world. The loss of her daughter. Actually, she told me her daughter was killed off-world. She couldn't get it out of her head. Every other memory she has of her life before coming, the implanted memories of her life before coming to Earth were beautiful, except the death of her daughter, Dinah. We agreed to help her in any way we could. Ultimately, she decided that getting her off-world would be the best thing for her. But that night, so jumping forward to the night of the shooting, there was already trouble at the club before I even got there. That Skylar was stirring up a group of activists, and of course they were harassing the dancers. Lee wanted to intervene. She wanted to protect the girl from the harassment and the pelting with the bottles. She was stopped by her partner, who, of course, was using me as a opportunity to see if any of the N8s would expose themselves. I've been in and out of LAPD custody because I'm useful. They are convinced that I'm going to lead them to the resistance, the underground operations. So I've been in a cell a few times. I'm always let go. This night, Sander was convinced he was going to find a Nexus 8 that would connect him to the underground, and soon I proved him right. I attacked Skylar and his posse to protect Iris, the dancer. Immediately, Sander recognized me as a known N8 in a brawl. He drew his blaster, and Lee was dealing with probably the ultimate and worst choice of her life. So she did the same and pulled a trigger and hit Sander point blank in the chest. He collapsed on the floor, and Lee ran out. She had to make a choice. She had to choose between being a detective and being a replicant. There was no turning back. If they would have been able to get me to talk, they would have found out her connection. Her chances of getting off-world would be done. So now she knew she'd be hunted and probably killed once they found the connection to the replicant resistance, an N9 Blade Runner disobeying on that level. Yeah, she knew she had no choice, and so the plan to get off-world was cemented. She grabbed what she could, and we gave her the address of the safe house where she was supposed to hold up until tonight, when she was going to be picked up. But between then and now, we have no idea. I mean, you were at the safe house. You knew she wasn't there. Aurelian hasn't seen her, and that's the truth. That's everything. That's everything that we know at this point. Something made her leave that safe house, take some sort of action before she leaves tonight.
You don't know where she's at right now?
Honestly, do not know, officer.
The problem is, you and her, you're trying to play both sides. Replicant or Blade Runner, you really can't be both. What you really want to be is someone who can change things, someone who is trying to actually fix things. Every problem you cause, that makes another one of me. You aren't seeing clearly. Every action you take just gives them more fuel, makes them give us more trauma. You're not fixing anything. You're not fixing anyone. You're just feeding into them, causing more problems, giving them more trauma to build on and plug into our minds. You're not making it better. And that's the problem. And then as he's talking, I get up and I just walk away.
And Styles just watches him leave. All right. So now let's switch to Anemoid Row. So Perez is getting a ride to Anemoid Row, and you land right on the edge of that area.
He's caught between his natural instinct of survival and everything he's been through recently.
Mm-hmm.
Because he really wants to ask this cop to stay and just cover his ass. But he knows the last time he did that, he got a cop killed.
Listen, I knew Petrov, and I got a wife at home too, and you don't want to have to visit her now, do you?
No, I can't afford it. All right, well then I'll just walk around to the back of his car and take my gun out.
So the spinner pulls away after you take the gun out of the trunk, and Anemoid Row awaits.
I'm really scoping the area out. I'm like super
clearing your corners and whatnot?
Yeah, I'm like, anyone looks at me funny, I'm pointing the gun at them.
Are you carrying the rifle then?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to sling it over my back. I feel really awkward. It's definitely not Perez's style.
So he drops you off Ancon Alley, so you immediately see...
So this is sort of like an open air mall.
Yeah, it's all just shops lined up around with glass fronts, a lot of storefronts with a lot of neon and a lot of animals in windows. And some of them are more open pavilions and things, so they can display more colorful or less dangerous animals. They can display them out in the open.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so you make your way down the Ancon Alley from where you're dropped off. There's a tea shop, you see some noodle shop, and then a whole row, as is the name of, you get Triboro Zoological, everything along there, and things are marked. So if you just want to wander around.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk around looking for the like a butterfly sign, and
Okay.
But I'm going very slow, and I keep looking back behind me. Like try to determine if I'm being tailed at all.
Yeah, why don't you roll observation for the tailing, just in case you spot anybody. All right, a crit. There's nobody. Once the spinner took off, that was it. You don't see anybody else suspicious or kind of aware of you.
Okay.
So you make your way down the main row, and almost immediately on your right you see a store advertising butterflies. It's open in the morning. Very beautiful, colorful display. And as I said, the butterflies are very psychedelic. They're more like jellyfish or kind of iridescent steam. They kind of just flutter around like something from somebody's dream, not really looking less and less like butterflies. Very fantastic.
Do I see the Aurelian walk inside?
He's actually behind the counter. So you look through the glass and you can actually see he's right inside the shop. So you come in and there's cases everywhere, a little door to a back room, and then he's right behind a counter at the seat.
I'll knock on the glass so he can look up and see me, and then I'll come walk.
Yeah, he notices you and greets you. Just raises a hand as he sees you coming in. Good morning. Good morning, officer.
Morning. Mind if I ask you some questions?
Feel free. I'm here to serve.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you. We're having trouble with this case.
So still, you don't know the location of Lee?
We don't. And I'm afraid that not only is she a danger to others, but what we're learning about her, she did herself.
I see.
I'm trying to go a little more empathic with this guy than I usually. We've been doing some research, and she might be suicidal. I need whatever you can get. Known associates, places you've seen her, anything you can get. Just throw me a bone.
Oh, officer, let me see. I know basically what I can tell you. I introduced Lee to Styles because she came into the store and was a very regular customer for a long time, but I knew that her attraction and her collecting my butterflies was using it as some sort of way to cover up some deep emotional trouble she was having. So I introduced her to Styles, who, as you know, is connected to our group that assists replicants that are having these types of traumas and are having difficulty adjusting to what is probably some poorly designed implants. So I introduced her to Styles, and then things seemed to only get worse. I know that there was an incident. Styles told me, forced her to choose between staying in the LAPD or fleeing off world as she began to entertain as a plan to make her life better. Of course, we are the ones that facilitated that. But a conversation that I had with Styles right after I was informed of the events of the snake pit, he asked the location, and I told him she had the address of the safe house and had been told by our group to stay there until her appointment for the moon bus at the Hollywood sign on the mountain. Styles told me she still seemed very angry, not afraid or traumatized, but quite angry after the shooting. I told her that we'll have to wait and see what happens. And then, as you know, she disappeared from the safe house, and we don't know why. We don't know what exactly is motivating this. She would have been safe there until her appointment to leave, but obviously something disturbed her.
Do you, in your organization, do you have backup plans when things go wrong? Like a place people bolt to, a contact they can seek out, anything?
Unfortunately, that would be Styles. He is the one we rely on the most, and unfortunately he's in police custody right now, so that would be who she would reach out to if it was if there was some sort of complication with her trip, if she was unable to meet at the appointed time.
Has she ever mentioned, when you talked to her, the corporation?
Referring to the Wallace Corporation? The only name she has specifically talked to me about is Lilith Tyrell. I know that she knows that the source of her anguish is the implant, and also that Lilith Tyrell was the designer of that memory. The recent publicity that the doctor has received, I don't think has gone very well with Lee.
I'm gonna hold up my hand, like tell him, give me just a minute, and step back outside. And I want to check on a couple things. Check on if anyone's responded to our little fake missing kid thing. Anything, anybody credible. If my mother has come up with anything about the safe house.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
2 other thoughts, Matt. Could she be looking for Styles? Do we know where he lives? We should have his address or something to track him down. She may be hanging around in his neck of the woods trying to find him.
Could be.
Or you could ask this guy if he knows where his haunts are.
Or I'm wondering if we should be staking out Lilith if she's.
Yeah, that was number 2.
If there's a revenge thing.
Yeah, your mom comes back with the hole. You get a message from her that says the hole that the replicants dug in that building is pretty deep, but I can't find any information about who it's connected to. Or only thing that I've got is what you already know, that replicant, that Nexus 8 that was arrested there, it was commonly associated with that group. But other than that, I can't find anything. Even about other safe houses, they keep that stuff buried deep. Was your mom's message? There's been some strange calls and kind of false leads. People claiming to have seen her in seen the girl in various parts in LA vicinity, and there was a sobbing call that they did receive with no leads, and the woman on the line, just said Dinah and hung up.
Dinah. Oh.
That is her daughter's name in her mind.
That is her daughter's name.
Yes, right.
In her implanted memory.
Yes, as per Styles.
Can they trace that call in any way?
There isn't any way. I think it came from a public phone that was just a Sector 5 public phone. Yeah, that was late last night. So you could check up on it, but it may not do you much good.
All right, I'm gonna call whoever the appropriate person at the LAPD.
Okay.
Identify myself because I know I'm a burner. Tell them we need some plainclothes officers staking the Lilith Memory Lab.
Yeah, that request will happen instantaneously. Okay, so did you say plainclothes?
Yeah.
So you get plainclothes officers starting on the next shift. Get plainclothes staking out.
Make sure they know they need to contact.
Okay.
So real quick though, I do want to go back inside and ask Aurelian for one of his butterflies.
Oh, interesting.
Tell him I think if it gets bad with Lee, I might be able to use this to keep her calm.
That sounds like a humanity point as well. He of course offers ones to you. These were always one of her favorites, and he gives you a very secure capsule to keep it in, so you can just kind of tuck it in a bag or in a coat pocket, and it'll be secure. I hope you can find her, and I hope she's okay, officer. I appreciate all of your efforts in regards to Lee's fate.